Good morning, gang. Good morning. Welcome back to this week's Bitcoin update. First and foremost, remember nothing discussed today is financial advice. It's for educational purposes only, and it's my view of the markets. And now that's out of the way, let's jump into the charts and cover some zero bullshit here, which is what you guys are here for. First and foremost, I'm going to say I apologise if I sound extra monotone today. The cold that I had the other week seemed to be a precursor for the full-on flu virus that we're not allowed to talk about on YouTube, otherwise we get delisted or whatever. So I apologise in advance if I start coughing and spluttering. Right, before we jump into today's TA, quick shout out for today's video sponsor, BingX. Talked about these guys many times. BingX are a crypto exchange that you can also trade FX, commodities and indices on. And the beauty of these guys is, A, they are non-KYC, so if you live in a restricted zone, like the UK, for example, or the US, then you can trade on BingX. If you use our links down in the description, there are deposit bonuses and various events that are going on. And currently, this is my exchange of choice too, because obviously we're not allowed to trade on other exchanges. So yeah, big shout out to BingX, and obviously if you want to check them out, go check out the link down in the description below. Now, zooming in. Okay, so the last time we had a conversation, obviously, we were down here Thursday. Obviously, we just had the short from the naked point of control, taking out these highs, clearing them all up, and then a significant pullback, which was on the back of the fake ETF news or whatever it was. We had a nice short, we had a nice TP1, and then the rest of it, as you can tell, I got stopped out. Okay, and that's absolutely fine. I got stopped out at entry, so therefore got a TP1, winning trade regardless, and that's fine. And since then, we've just continued the grind up and we've not lost any structure. Okay, so this is a big thing. When people question what do I mean by structure, because people ask me this, right? What I mean by structure is we're looking on the daily chart here. So we've got a low, we've got a higher low, we've got a higher low, followed by a series of higher highs. Okay, until if this short had continued, then it would have needed to take out these lows here for it to be a valid change of structure for me. And therefore, I could have held on to this position a little bit longer, okay? But what you've got to be aware of is the environment that you're in. You are in a strong upwards environment, so if you are taking counter-trend trades, you need to know when to lock in a TP1 and when to get the fuck out of the market, okay? Also, when you are in an uptrend, obviously, you can still take longs. Now, your longs are more favourable within this because you're maintaining an upward structure. Okay, so you can still counter trend trade, and I will continue to counter trend trade because that's something that I like to do. Okay, and something that I'm good at, and this is what I teach in the group. However, you need to know when it's going to be a scalp, an intraday, or maybe a swing. Okay, you need to know when to get the fuck out of the market. So it's something that I'm very conscious of with the members in my group, and here's a little passage that I give the guys in the group, and I give them these pep talks all the time because I don't want people losing money trying to catch every single high, okay? And if you follow us on Twitter as well, you'll see that I also post very similar content on Twitter because I don't want our followers to lose money, even if you're not in the group, okay? This is a time for a cool head and no silly gambles. Remember what we talked through on the last 2-hour stream, okay? So within this price action up here, grinding up here, I ended up sitting on a 2-hour live stream with the guys, talking through, keeping calm and collected, and explaining what I want to see for me to take a counter trend trade, okay? And if I don't see that, then I just sit there and I wait. Okay, counter trading a strong trend is absolutely fine as long as you know when to get in and out. Don't overstay our welcome because we want price to go in our trade direction. We take action on our trades when the charts tell us to. Okay, trust me when I say it's easy to burn through your entire capital counter trading a trend because you want to be right and you want to catch an epic trade. I've been there myself and I've done it, and I don't want you guys doing the same, which is why I give you these constant pep talks. I want you to succeed. I want you to smash it, but the only way to do this is be smart. Don't fuck up all the progress you've made. Okay, so this goes for a uptrend and a downtrend. Okay, so obviously we have been in a very long bear market. Okay, and what happens in a bear market now? Personally, for me, I do prefer a bear market because it's more technical. Up market, it's just easy, you just long and forget about it. But in a bear market, you see it, and you've seen it with all the influencers, okay? All the influencers have been long in every single dip, okay? Every single dip, because they want to catch the bottom, okay? And all that's happened is they've just been liquidated every single time, and they've done it all the way down. You know, if we look at Crypto, it's a great example. He got liquidated 8 or 9 times on the way down. And then he finally gets one trade right. Okay, and this is the same across most influencers, because they've been so conditioned to upmarket environment that once a downtrend arises, they just want to long every single dip. But it takes a long time for these people to finally figure it out that it's in a downtrend, okay? And then they finally get one right, and then, you know, they bang on about it and pretend that they're absolute trading gods, okay? So same when you're in a strong uptrend, okay? You don't want to be trying to catch every single top, hoping that you've caught it, and you just keep shorting all the way up because you want an epic short that's going to take you all the way back down, just because you want that. Well, why do you want that epic short? You want it because you want a good screenshot, because you want to become an influencer. There's no other reason behind it. You've got a gambling mentality, okay? So the trick is if you are to counter trade a trend, then you need to be smart about it. Okay, you need to know when to get in, when to get out, when something can run, and when something can't. And if you don't get that continuation signal, like here, where the short trade, you didn't get the continuation because we didn't take out these lows. Okay, so therefore, TP1 stops to entry, then you wait. If it then did continue down, well, great, you got part of your trade still running. And if it did continue up, then you got stopped out, and then that part of your trade got stopped. No problem, okay? So don't burn through your capital trying to either counter trend this or chase it, okay? Wait for something to happen. Now that's out of the way. Obviously, if you guys want access to pep talks, my daily trading plans, modules on how to actually trade markets, then first and foremost, come over to our website. Now, we still have our trial offer on, guys. It runs out next Tuesday. So if you do want access to our private group with our daily trading plans, 5-6 days a week, plus over 50 individual content modules covering everything from absolute beginners through to advanced trader. So we cover order flow, we cover Elliott Wave, we cover psychology, we cover individual strategies. We talk through how to create your own strategies. So if you want access to all that, it's not going to cost you 60 quid. It's going to cost you 25 quid if you use the code TRIAL25 at checkout. Okay, that code expires on Tuesday. So if you want to get involved in that, we've had quite a fair few people take us up on this offer, and the feedback so far has been great. So yeah, if you want access to that, then come check out our website. Okay, links down in the description. So what are we looking for next? Okay, now again, this is going to be a zero bullshit approach as usual. I'm not going to give you some crazy made up numbers. I'm just going to talk you through in real time. Okay, so I'm going to, first and foremost, I'm going to throw on a volume profile here once it decides to update itself. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to throw on the visible range volume profile. Okay, so we can see this here. And then on top of this, I'm going to throw on, I'm going to take this out of log. I'm going to throw on the old top range. And just squiggle it back. There we go. Obviously, this range here, you guys know because we've been talking about it for months and months and months. Great. It's been a great range to trade. Obviously, if you did catch the long that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, then great. Or obviously, alternatively, you'd have got this long bouncing off the old macro range highs. Then, happy days. You sat quite comfortable and hopefully you've skimmed some profits already because you're not a degenerate gambler. Right. So where we are right now. Wait for this to update. We can see. Come on, there we go. Right, we're in a thin zone here. We can see on the volume we're in a thin zone. Now, where we've stopped is there's a couple of reasons for this. We've got a high volume node here, which is incorporating this data right now. We've got a high volume node here. Here. It's not a massive high volume node. And then we also had a CME gap here. We've also got a couple of naked pointer controls here from these days back here. Okay, so that's the reason why we've stalled where we have stalled now. Now, the question is this a stall before a full-on breakdown? Or is this a stall before a continuation to the upside? Okay, so let's talk upside first. If we do continue up, then it's that same region that we've been talking about for a very, very long time on this channel. Anyone that's followed us for a long time will know. We've got this 38 to 40k zone, okay? So any ICT style traders will call this an order block, a monthly supply zone, whatever you want, a daily supply zone, whatever you want to call it. It makes no difference to me. Okay, so for me, it's a naked point of control. It's a high volume node. Okay, so it's a big sticky zone. So this would be my first major area of interest to the upside. Okay, if we do come up into this 38 to 40k region and start to show a sign of weakness, then I will become a seller all day long of that. Okay. If I become a seller all day long of that, then likely looking back down within this volume cluster first, where we are right now, so we're building up some volume here, and then if that doesn't hold, then we'll be looking back down towards the actual breakout range itself. Okay, then it's squeaky bum time. Do we get acceptance back into the range, or do we have a nice retest and bounce back up? Okay, so that's to the upside. What if the 38 to 40k level doesn't give us anything? Well, if it doesn't give us anything, then we can look back on the volume profile here, and the next part here would be coming up at 41, or call it 42, because it's 41.9, okay? And effectively, what we are trading within this then is we are back to trading this old range, okay? This old value area of the range, with the outer extremities coming up at the top up here, around 47, okay, 46, 47, and the lower, realistically, coming in at this 37, 38k region, okay? So if we do get acceptance back into here and we don't get a major rejection here, then we are just going to be trading this range, okay, with an outer extremity up here. Okay, so all you're doing is you're planning on the chart. You're planning on the chart. Where's the sticky zone? And where am I going to start getting interested in taking positions? That's all you're looking for. So that's to the upside. Now, if we clear out this volume profile now, and then we'll look to the downside, what happens if we roll over? Okay, so let's say we just start to roll over. Okay, first and foremost, do we get a reaction off the old breakout area? There'll be a lot of people here waiting to bid this because everyone does love a good breakout and backtest. So does this get defended and give us something to work with? Possibly. If it does, then there might be a long trigger. Okay. What if that doesn't give us anything and it starts to come back down? Well, if it starts to come back down, then this isn't going to look very great. If we get acceptance back into this old range, now bear in mind what big conversation we had right at the start of the video, we talked about structure, okay? So realistically, if we start coming back down here, we're going to wipe through this quite quickly. And likelihood is we come back down to this sort of zone here. Okay? Now, if this gives us something to work with, then fair enough. We can potentially look at longs around the EQ. Now, again, this is more of a high risky area, in my opinion, but then you'll be looking then to trade the top part of the range. If that doesn't give us anything, then we can fully rotate back down to range lows. Now, range lows are important for maintaining structure. Okay, so if we come back down to range lows and we get that, then we've potentially got a long. Okay, and then we are literally just back to trading this sideways environment again. Okay, it's not the end of the world. It's not crazy bull. It's not crazy bear. It's just range trading. If that doesn't hold, then we can look at lower targets. Okay, back into the old macro range that we've discussed for many well, years now. Okay, so that's what we've got. It's as simple as that. If we get another push up, then we can be looking at that 38 to 40k region. If we start to roll over, then we can be looking back at the range highs and then determine whether we get acceptance back into the range or we continue to bounce off it. Okay, and it's an SR flip effectively. Okay, but it's not a time for greed, in my opinion, because we've still got plenty of resistance above us. So we've got to know when to take profits, when to move stops to entry, and when to get the hell out of the market. Okay? Right, that'll do. Hopefully you guys have learned something today. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing and do me a favour, gang, hit that like button so it can get us back into the algorithm because we seem to be disappearing out of it again. Alright, gang. Thank you, as you were. Bye-bye.